My boyfriend suddenly wants a relationship break right after I got promoted, and now I'm stuck with the entire rent while he took all his expensive stuff but left his toiletries. So I never thought I'd be one of those people writing a long, messy breakup post. Like, I used to read these and just think, damn, glad that's not me, you know? But here we are. This is not a throwaway because honestly, I don't care anymore. And some of you are probably going to think I'm crazy or dramatic, but I promise I am not making this up and I'm not exaggerating either. If anything, I'm trying to tone myself down because my hands are still shaking and it's been days. Sorry for the length. I'm typing this from a little 24-hour coffee shop downtown. Been hiding in the corner booth for hours because I literally can't stand being in my own apartment right now. For context, Alex and I had been together for 3 years and living together for the past year. Until literally last week, I thought we were rock solid. We had normal disagreements like any couple, but nothing major. We talked about marriage, kids, buying a house together. The whole future plan was laid out. At least I thought it was. I'll jump to last month because that's when the weirdness started. And yeah, I know everyone says the weirdness, but I mean it. Alex started acting like, I guess like I was an NPC in his life instead of his girlfriend. Like he'd be on his phone constantly, not even social media, just weird websites about luxury watches and limited sneaker drops, ignoring me when I'd ask about lunch plans. I'd say something like, wanna try that new ramen spot? And he'd barely look up. Just go. Not hungry. Let's just stay in. But then he'd disappear later and come back with takeout. I didn't think he was cheating, honestly. Just thought maybe he was depressed or burnt out from his design job. About 2 weeks ago, I started getting these little comments from him. And they're not even that bad if you say them out loud. But when you live with someone, you feel every tiny shift. He started saying stuff like, you're always thinking about work, or I just want to chill, can we not right now? When I'd ask about weekend plans. And this one time, he literally said, I feel like I can't breathe sometimes. But then he'd want to cuddle at night or come up behind me and hug me when I was making coffee. So I was just like, okay, he's stressed, I'll back off. Then came my career breakthrough. After 8 grueling months, I received the promotion I'd been fighting for, complete with a 40% salary increase that effectively doubled Alex's income. I was ecstatic and rushed home to share the news. He appeared genuinely pleased, surprising me with celebratory champagne and dinner at my favorite restaurant. In retrospect, his enthusiasm seemed forced, but I was too overjoyed to notice. He raised his glass to my accomplished partner and expressed pride in my achievement. 3 days later, just 3 days, during an ordinary Saturday morning as I prepared coffee and Alex scrolled through his phone, he abruptly announced, I need to tell you something difficult. I feel trapped in our relationship. I laughed, assuming he was joking. Who actually speaks that way outside of melodramatic television? But his expression remained serious as he continued, I need time away from us. I need to rediscover myself independently. Let's maintain distance for a while until I sort through some things. He then grabbed a pre-packed duffel bag, clearly this wasn't spontaneous, and walked out without even a backward glance. No embrace, nothing, just the door closing firmly behind him. I sat stunned, expecting a text within minutes saying, sorry, just exhausted, coming home soon. Nothing arrived. I went through mechanical motions, showering, eating breakfast, calling my sister Ellie, who immediately ranted about his immaturity and suggested I end things first. I just felt hollow. The truly aggravating part? We had renewed our lease literally last month. I'm the primary tenant due to my superior credit score, and the rent is substantial. Alex packed his belongings that same day, saying he'd stay with his friend Nathan until he sorts things out. Notably, he carefully selected his valuables, his watch collection, expensive clothing, photography gear, but abandoned everyday toiletries like shampoo and toothpaste, as if planning a temporary absence while I shoulder the entire housing cost. I half expected a midnight return, crawling back into bed as he typically did after disagreements, but the sheets remained cold. The following morning, my best friend Rachel called repeatedly, unusual for her text-preferring style. Have you checked Alex's social media story? She asked. I hadn't looked, trying to respectfully maintain boundaries like a fool. She forwarded screenshots that left me reeling. First image, a luxury high-rise view with panoramic windows overlooking the water. Next, a table at an upscale establishment I'd been wanting to try for months, featuring 2 champagne glasses and gourmet appetizers, then a slow-motion clip capturing someone's hand with a distinctive aqua ring tapping his whiskey glass. Not my jewelry, not Ellie's style, not Rachel's taste, certainly not his mother's. I recognized that ring. It belonged to Vanessa, his professional colleague he consistently described as just a work friend. She wore this custom piece at every company function. Most damning was a glimpse of her designer purse on the hotel mattress, her signature moisturizer visible in the pocket, that unmistakable blue container she always produced during meetings. Her distinctive laughter echoed in the background, immediately recognizable with that characteristic snort. I immediately messaged Alex, unleashing my anger. So this is space you needed involves Vanessa's hotel suite? Hours passed before his response. You're making assumptions. I told you I needed processing time. Your insecurity is showing. She's simply a longtime friend helping me work through things. I wasn't fooled. I recognized the situation clearly, as did he. The sheer audacity, Ellie advised. Don't let him manipulate the narrative or engage with Vanessa directly. That's exactly what he wants, making you appear unstable. When I questioned if I was overreacting, she replied, absolutely not. Classic deflection, making you the villain to justify his disgraceful behavior. Later that day, Nathan's mutual friend Jordan messaged asking about my well-being. He mentioned seeing Alex at that prestigious hotel bar acting strangely triumphant. When I inquired about Alex's companion, Jordan simply wrote, I shouldn't interfere, but you deserve better treatment. The suspicious timing is impossible to ignore. Ellie believes he's panicking about my increased earning potential and possibly outpacing him. Rachel suspects a longer involvement with Vanessa, using this as an opportunity to explore without technically cheating. But why orchestrate this break charade instead of a clean separation? And why leave personal essentials details if planning permanent departure. Saturday passed silently. My mother texted about Alex joining Sunday dinner, and I simply replied, no, he requested distance. She called immediately, motherly instinct activated, asking if I was all right. I claimed exhaustion, but stability. She offered to visit, but I declined, needing space to strategize. She reminded me, never accept mistreatment. Wisdom I acknowledged despite the difficulty. By Sunday morning, anger replaced confusion. I no longer wanted reconciliation, but refused to be disrespected while he portrayed himself as the wounded party online. I organized the apartment, gathered his belongings by the entrance, not discarding them, simply signaling his unwelcome status. I texted, your possessions are here for collection. He read without responding, prompting me to bag everything and leave it by the door. When he finally appeared Sunday evening, he avoided eye contact completely while silently collecting his things, muttering, you're being entirely unreasonable. I countered, and you're being completely hypocritical. He mumbled something indecipherable as he left. Some might suggest better communication or taking the higher ground, but I'd exhausted that approach. Civility isn't owed to someone treating me as a backup option. Now, I'm left managing aftermath. Ellie's offered temporary housing, while Rachel attempts distraction with humor and television. Sleep eludes me as I compulsively check my phone, hoping for a logical explanation. My emotions cycle through grief, rage, and bewilderment dozens of times daily. Remarkably, this isn't even the most outrageous development. My next steps remain uncertain, but I refuse to let him simply vanish consequence-free. Has anyone experienced similar situations? Should I change locks and proceed forward, or wait to determine if this represents some bizarre quarter-life crisis? All guidance appreciated during this disorienting time. Thanks for reading this extensive account. Your patience exceeds mine currently. I'll provide updates with any developments, though instinct suggests this merely marks the beginning. First update. First, thanks to everyone who commented on my original post. Reading your responses helped me realize I'm not crazy for feeling blindsided by all this. It's been 3 days since Alex left, and I'm still crashing at Ellie's place. She's letting me have her weird pull-out couch. And honestly, at this point, her cat likes me better than her. I can't even look at my own apartment right now because every stupid mug, every pile of Alex's random socks that I keep finding just pisses me off more. Also, side note, why do guys buy so many damn socks? Is it a hoarding thing? Whatever. What's truly devastating isn't his leaving, but his insistence on denying reality. He actually sat in my living room claiming I was exhausting and needed to address my jealousy issues. Then within 24 hours, he's flaunting luxury accommodations with Vanessa, his allegedly platonic colleague, while portraying me as unstable. I recognize how that sounds. Perhaps I'm overanalyzing innocent situations, but I know exactly what I witnessed in those social media posts. The subtle indicators reveal everything. Opening Ellie's refrigerator without mentally reserving eggs for Alex's breakfast, or hiding my charger from someone who borrows it nightly without returning it. These small realizations, not dramatic confrontations, make the separation tangible. Meanwhile, his social media continues updating. Another hotel room featuring a rooftop swimming area, another dinner displaying 2 plates, one containing seafood he supposedly detested, another video capturing mint-lacquered fingernails tapping his water glass, Vanessa's signature manicure shade confirmed through her recent posts. Perhaps this verification seems obsessive, but I needed certainty about what I already suspected. Tired of waiting, I requested a mature conversation about our situation. He agreed to meet yesterday at a coffee shop. That conversation proved illuminating. When directly questioned whether my promotion influenced his sudden need for independence, he immediately became defensive. He claimed unwavering support for my professional growth, while simultaneously expressing surprise that I hadn't considered how advancement might shift our relationship dynamic. When pressed for clarification, he worried I'd become career-fixated and relationship negligent. I physically restrained myself from creating a public scene. Taking the direct approach, I asked about involvement with someone else. His face flushed crimson as he called the suggestion offensive, before admitting to reconnecting with Vanessa. Surprisingly, they'd apparently been close before our relationship, something never mentioned during our 3 years together. They'd been having regular lunches for weeks, and he values her perspective on his professional frustrations. He insists there's nothing romantic, but I'm not naive. The housing discussion proved most infuriating. When confronted about shared rental responsibility, he actually suggested my promotion made covering costs manageable, and he needed to safeguard his finances during this uncertain period. When I highlighted his selective packing, valuables taken but toiletries abandoned, he became flustered, claiming he'd grabbed essentials without logical planning. Venting to Rachel later, she reassured me, "You're entirely sane. Men excel at gaslighting. It's their competitive sport." Even she questioned, "Are you certain about Vanessa? Maybe it's someone new." I don't fault her skepticism. I doubt myself too. Nevertheless, she offered to monitor his posts for suspicious content, building my collection of evidence, hotel panoramas, jewelry, fragrance bottles, manicured hands, wine glasses, laughter, all publicly displayed. I suspect deliberate performance, attempting to provoke jealousy or impress Vanessa. After our coffee meeting, I investigated shared streaming accounts, discovering consistent activity from an unknown location, definitely not matching Nathan's address. When I texted Nathan about Alex's accommodations, his delayed, unusually formal response confirmed my suspicions. Yes, Alex resides here and is doing well. Finally gathering courage, I messaged Alex that without his return and serious relationship discussion by week's end, I'd consider our partnership terminated. He replied, "Don't threaten me." This precisely exemplifies why I needed distance. My friends are gathering tonight to discuss strategy. I'm considering delivering his remaining belongings to his parents' home, hopefully prompting adult behavior and honest conversation. Some might view my actions as excessive, but I stand by them. Maintaining the moral high ground becomes unsustainable. Occasionally, pettiness becomes a survival mechanism. Further developments will be shared. Second update. Alright, so I'm back, because apparently this drama never just ends. ends. If you're new here, quick recap. My boyfriend Alex dumped me with a whole "you're suffocating me, I need space" speech, walked out, then immediately started posting Insta stories from fancy hotels with his coworker Vanessa. When I called him out, he said I was jealous and embarrassing myself. And yeah, I'm not exactly sorry about what happened next. Thank you for your continued support and advice. Recent days have seen dramatic escalation. After my previous update, my friends helped package Alex's remaining possessions. While sorting, we discovered a hotel keycard in his jacket pocket from the downtown establishment featured in his social media, nowhere near Nathan's residence. This confirmed my suspicions. I informed Alex his belongings would be delivered to his parents' home and requested discussion about his financial lease obligations. He immediately called, furious, claiming I had no authority to handle his possessions, and that I was validating exactly why he required separation from my controlling tendencies. When confronted about the keycard, a telling silence preceded stammered explanations about an ancient work event. Recognizing futility, he finally admitted staying with Vanessa, not Nathan, with Nathan providing cover throughout. An hour later, Alex arrived seething, collecting remaining items while ranting that my promotion had altered my personality, making me condescending. When I noted his behavioral shift immediately following my advancement, he erupted, admitting feeling emasculated by my success and uncertainty about partnering with someone who would flaunt financial superiority perpetually. I was speechless. This man witnessed years of overtime dedication advancing my career. He accompanied me through stress and exhaustion. Now my achievement somehow represents personal attack? Then came the revelation. He confessed emotional involvement with Vanessa predating my promotion. Apparently, she comprehends his aspirations, unlike myself, and doesn't position him as secondary. The confrontation intensified discussing rental obligations. He actually laughed, suggesting my substantial new salary eliminated financial concerns. When legal consequences were mentioned, he threatened informing my colleagues about fabricated emotional instability, potentially compromising my new position. As he approached, I instinctively retreated, extending my arm saying, "Maintain distance." He halted. Accusations escalated, claims I never supported his creative vision, that I suppressed him, that Vanessa appreciates his perspective in ways I never attempted. I responded, "Then commit to her and stop haunting me." He claimed, "The situation has complexity." I countered, "Not from my perspective." He accused, "You've grown callous." I replied, "I've simply awakened." I demanded his departure. He struck the doorframe exiting. Afterward, messages flooded from his social circle and even his sister claiming I'd transformed post-promotion, becoming financially obsessed and relationship neglectful. Alex constructed quite the narrative justifying his actions. His mother actually called, suggesting I should have shown greater sensitivity to how my achievement might trigger Alex's inadequacy. I remained speechless. Ellie observed, "He's revealing authentic character." I expressed desire to overcome this nightmare. Rachel arrived with dinner and wine, extracting promises against contacting him, even for final statements. She noted, "Your resilience exceeds self-perception." I admitted desiring peace. My mother called, expressing concern and offering presents. I declined, citing friendship support. She reminded me, "Anger remains permissible." I acknowledged this. I fell asleep on the sofa, waking to numerous missed calls from Alex, all ignored. The following day, Jordan messaged warning, "Alex tells everyone you're irrational and manipulative." I responded, "Let him talk. Important people recognize truth." I've blocked Alex and most connections. Never have I experienced such betrayal and manipulation. The man I anticipated marrying transformed unrecognizably following my hard-earned achievement. Final update. It's been about a month since everything blew up, and I wanted to give you all a final update on the situation. First off, the weirdest thing, the silence. Like, actual silence. After the big fight with Alex, there was a good 5 days where my phone was just dead quiet. No angry texts, no late-night calls, not even a cryptic IG post. I started to think maybe it was finally over, and I could just go back to my boring little life of meal prepping and doom scrolling. Then unexpectedly, voicemail notifications appeared from unfamiliar numbers. Ignoring several, I eventually checked one suspecting telemarketing, discovering Alex instead. His tone transformed completely, neither angry nor artificially composed, but desperately pleading. Messages contained phrases like, "Can we talk? I apologize. I made mistakes." His voice breaking suggested tears or hangover, both equally plausible. I disregarded them entirely. Then he starts texting Ellie, which is a new level of pathetic. She sends me screenshots. He's saying stuff like, "I need to talk to her, please. I just need 5 minutes." Ellie says, "You had your 5 minutes, remember? You wasted it." He tries to guilt her. Says, "You're her sister. How can you be so cold?" She just sends him a thumbs up emoji. The practical stuff. After talking to the property management company and explaining the situation, they agreed to let me sign a new lease in just my name. It's more expensive than I planned for, but with the promotion, I can make it work. Alex eventually agreed to pay his part of the rent for the remaining 2 months of our original lease, but only after I had my lawyer friend send a formal letter. He made sure to Venmo the money with the note, "Final payment to entitled Princess," where all our mutual friends could see it. I finally moved back into my apartment. Credit where it's due. Alex never tried to break in or leave anything nasty, though he did leave behind like 50 pairs of mismatched socks and a coffee mug with a stupid slogan I've always hated. I deep clean everything, replace the bedding, throw out the almond milk he insisted on, never buying that stuff again. The apartment feels weirdly empty but somehow refreshing. I order DoorDash, turn on my favorite podcast, and just sit on my living room floor. It feels like reclaiming territory. Then electronic messages began. Subject lines simply read, "Please," or "Conversation request," or "Apologies." One resembled an essay describing mental confusion, youthful nostalgia desires, uninterrupted affection, etc. He claimed terminating involvement with Vanessa, who allegedly disappeared after public exposure. He requested another opportunity, citing universal human error. I merely scrolled through through, deleted, and proceeded. Ellie suggests loneliness following universal abandonment motivates him. Rachel identifies multiple manipulation strategies: guilt, nostalgia, feigned self-awareness. Jordan warns Alex claims life ruination by me, though credibility diminishes. I respond indifferently, accepting Jordan's offer for emergency assistance if necessary. The next escalation occurred mid-work week afternoon. Working at my table, knocking interrupted concentration. Peering through the security hole revealed Alex. Considering ignoring him, persistent knocking followed by text reading outside. 5 minutes, please, prompted opening the door partially with, state your purpose. He appeared visibly exhausted, requesting conversation. I permitted speaking. Predictable apologies followed. I recognized my mistakes. I lost everything. I responded, that represents your problem exclusively. He claimed, you uniquely demonstrated genuine concern. I miss you terribly. Sleep and appetite elude me. I seek another chance. I countered, multiple opportunities were provided. He admitted, my behavior was foolish. Attempted physical approach prompted positioning the door between us. His pleas continued, I'm begging. I rejected, stop begging. It's repulsive. His attempted contact with my arm met physical resistance. Profanity followed, emotional breakdown threatened, awkward posture maintained. I instructed, you should leave. He claimed, I lack alternatives. I responded, that doesn't constitute my responsibility. Muttering about universal destruction prompted my reply, welcome to shared experience. Door closure concluded interaction. Emotional impact remains significant. Mutual acquaintances reveal Alex and Vanessa officially dated approximately 14 days post-breakup before she terminated their relationship. Their public narrative claims post-breakup commencement, contradicting known facts. Most painful is his historical revision, portraying himself as the supportive partner displaced following my success. Several acquaintances have requested perspective clarification, suggesting some recognized narrative manipulation. Alex's mother continues sending passive-aggressive messages about certain men requiring necessity and career-focused women overlooking sacrifices. I've ceased responding entirely. His previously close sister posted thinly disguised social commentary about women emasculating partners through ambition. Betrayal continues expanding concentrically. Subsequently, steady streams of manipulation and desperate communication continue. Early morning voicemails, messages from new numbers, once even social media contact attempts. Identical rhetoric, I miss you. Forgive me. I'll do anything. Each number, each account receives immediate blocking. Habitual rejection becomes surprisingly routine. During dinner at Ellie's, she inquired, have you considered forgiveness for personal peace? I rejected, not remotely. She questioned, even for emotional resolution? I replied, the closure concept represents self-help marketing strategy. Her laughter acknowledged, you've developed significant resilience. I admitted, perhaps I've abandoned pretense. Professional responsibilities provided salvation throughout this ordeal. Immersion in new responsibilities combined with incredible team support sustained me. My supervisor even shared similar early career experiences, offering mentorship, a profoundly meaningful gesture. Alex's final attempt involved reappearing at my building. This time I refused answering. Following 15 minutes waiting, he departed. Later, a note appeared beneath my door simply stating, apologies. May you find superior partnership. I discarded it immediately. A month post-initiation, I feel adequately stable. Not necessarily joyful, but significantly unburdened. Alex continues monitoring through alternative accounts, engaging with ancient photographs. I enjoy social meals with Rachel. I purchase extravagant houseplants. I discover new programming and dedicate entire weekends to critical viewing. Complete healing remains distant, but anger has subsided, replaced by fatigue and nascent pride. For anyone contemplating confronting reality-distorting individuals, consider carefully. Not every conflict warrants engagement, but when someone undermines confidence and diminishes your significance, sometimes healthiest responses involve boundary establishment followed by graceful narrative separation. Never imagining becoming this person, yet here I stand. Truthfully, circumstances considered, my response demonstrated reasonable composure. Thank you for accompanying this journey, compassionate strangers. Should you encounter a designer named Alex appearing dejected at upscale hotel establishments, feel free proceeding unacknowledged, or perhaps purchase beverages if feeling generous. Either approach remains inconsequential as I concentrate exclusively on life reconstruction.